Hi guys, how you doing? Out on the Lipstick on Your Collar tour at the moment, and recently a few people have been asking about what's the best kit to kind of use on shows in general. Well, on this show in particular, it's actually the shells are supplied for me, and it's obviously kind of more of a larger retro feel, so bigger toms, 24-inch bass drum, and then I've got my own snare on, which is 14-inch snare, and then just one crash and one ride and hats, so kind of a nice like stripped down thing with a couple of plastic blocks for some extra percussion bits. But kind of my general point on kind of like drum kit and stuff is you've still got to ergonomically kind of play what suits you. It's good to have an arsenal of kit at your disposal. So I've got 4 different kits, including an electric as well, and a variation of sizes. I think the most important thing is to potentially have a selection of snares, differing snares, so that you've got like different kind of sounds that you can reach for certain shows and stuff. But primarily for me, I use a really small kit. I might just reference into this video that quite a lot of the time I'm using a purple kit that I put together. I use that for Space Cowboy a lot, and that's a 10-inch tom with a 10-inch rack tom, 12-inch snare drum, 13-inch floor, then 16-inch bass drum. And I go into a lot of places and they're like, oh, that's not going to sound beefy enough or big enough. But to be honest, if you're on a big enough show, or you're on a show where you've got a good engineer and it's all mic'd up well, then the kit can be controlled a lot more from their side of things. And I find a smaller, tighter kit for me, as long as it's tuned well and put together well, is a lot more controlled, and then you can just leave it down to the engineer. Obviously for shows like this, then they need to be a little bit more authentic, and obviously the look as well, what you're actually going for aesthetically on this particular type of show, it really helps for it to be the big shells and everything. But if you're just starting out, and you're like, oh, what do I get? And you want to cover it from just starting out through to pro gigging, just make sure you get a decent, good quality kit that you can afford. Try and spend the most that you can afford to do, so that you get longevity out of the equipment. And don't go for a ridiculously oversized, massive kit that you're never ever going to lug about. Just be practical with stuff. To be honest, I believe that the more important kit is, like I say, fundamentally your snare drum, your stick bag and what that's loaded with. So always have brushes. I've always got hot rods in there, some percussive world sticks as well, mallets. Kit yourself out with IEMs. Carry some moon gels, which are then thrown onto like the snare drum and bits and pieces like that there, which helps dampen it down, control it. Get yourself some towels because it's always sweaty. I also never go out without a fan, but that's not crucial. And then have a really good iPad system that you can rely on for all your notes, whether they are just cheat sheet type stuff or actual notation for the shows and bits and pieces. So yeah, that's kind of my broad outlook on the suggestion for kit. And yeah, as long as you're always bringing kind of like, especially for modern shows now, you're bringing your own IEMs. Make sure you've got a suitable desk or request whether they're supplying one. So Lipstick supply one for me here, and that's kind of it for kits. So go for a suitable all-rounder if you are investing in a kit and it's going to be your only kit, and then maybe go from there and invest in kind of the sounds that make it a bit more distinct for certain genres. So maybe invest in some additional snare drums for bits and pieces, maybe a change of, you know, some extra cymbals as you're getting along and going through stuff. But yeah, so kind of that's it for now. But yeah, if there's anything else that you guys want to know, then like I say, you know, I'm doing these quite regularly for you all. So just drop a question or whatever in the comments and stuff, or wherever this is posted up, and I will answer those questions for you. All right, well, take care from myself and Lipstick on Your Collar in Whitley Bay, UK, and I shall speak to you soon.